here from Acrim Consulting. I do tend to get quite a few support calls concerning ledger import and how that all works. So I thought I'd just give us all a brief rundown on how the whole ledger import system works. So unless we are using the Sun ledger import to ledger entry, everything is imported and everything goes through ledger. If we do a Q&A journal from a spreadsheet, that goes through ledger import and then posts into Sun. If we do a transfer profile, a BOF statement, Opera, or bank statement import, that goes through the transfer profile, which is SunSystems Connect, through ledger import and into Sun. And of course, if those all happen and everything happens, you don't get to see anything and there's no action required. As the stuff gets posted, it goes to ledger import and to copy the file in ledger import, and if the import is successful, it deletes it. So there's nothing to worry about. The trick is if something fails. If for some reason any of these imports fail, then a copy is left in ledger import. So I've got a little import here that I've set up. I will run that. I know it's going to fail because we've already set it up that way. It's processing the journal. When you do anything through the transfer files or transfer desk, you'll come up successful records. Break this out. This gives us the data. If it was going, it would be down here, but this has given us 6 unsuccessful records. Now, if I break this out, this will tell me what the error is. So that's 6, because I know I've put the wrong hotel, I've got the wrong hotel code in the file. So I can go and fix that. But what has happened is it has also left the copy in ledger import. So if I go and fix this in the file, if I go and fix my Q&A journal, because Q&A does 90% of the time tell us what the error is. If I go and fix it and then repost it, it leaves the incorrect file sitting in ledger import. So we do need to get rid of that. Otherwise, they start building up, and it's using up more space and can cause issues if they get too high. So if you fix it outside of the system, if you fix it from the source file, then do come back into ledger import and pick up the incorrect one, do a read, and we select the import process, bring up the details. We can just go and clear the file. And if we select multiple ones to preview, we can go and clear them all in one go. So that's okay. So that's if you fix the file outside of Sun and then just re-import it. If your error message doesn't tell you, or it's a message that you're not really sure what the error is, then again, you go into ledger import and you bring the file up as we just did, but you run it, and that resets the ledger import function. It will tell you it failed and it posted no errors. And it does give you a little message here, how many records are rejected. So what I tend to do, we run a print on this and we run view. And so we will run this and it will give us a little bit of a report on what the error actually was. So we can have a look and see. Now, there we have a couple of options, and I'll just flick you back to here, to my ledger input domain. If it's something we fix within Sun, like there is an account code is missing, or an account, it might be a creditor closed, then we can go into Sun while ledger import's still open, reopen that account or create the account, and then just rerun import a second time. But the bit you need to remember there is that the source file will still exist, and that might be sitting in server file manager. So if you do fix it within ledger import and Sun, you need to go back and delete out the source file so it doesn't accidentally get posted again. SunSystems. So there we go. So there's my error report. If it was just an imbalance, up here the totals would show you that the balances are incorrect. My balances are 0 because all of my transactions have rejected. But if I go down, now this whole section here, in between the blue lines, that's one line. And it tells you what it's trying to import, what it's done, and down the bottom, it gives you the error message. So in this case, I know, okay, I have got that hotel code wrong. So I know how to fix it. It's not something I fix in Sun. I have to fix this back in the source file. So, but there is still this file sitting in ledger import. So I do need to get rid of that so that I can import the new one that I've corrected. If you are using any automated systems, I do highly recommend that, depending on how your schedule, it might run once a day, it might run every 2 hours, it might run every hour. If it's running multiple times a day, then I would get into the habit of coming into ledger import and just checking to see that nothing has rejected. See, and I do have here that invoice ones that have rejected. The reason for doing that is the automated system doesn't delete the file if it's incorrect. So the next time the schedule runs, the next 2 hours, it's going to try and import that invoice again. And if you haven't fixed it, it's going to put a second error into ledger import. And if you leave it, say you have rejected, and you leave it for a week, that's a couple of hundred sets of invoices that are going to end up ledger import. It's important. It's a 2-second job, really, just to go into ledger import, just check that everything's fine, if something has, if it's a journal, you just need to check with the person who imported it that they have got it right. If it's an automated import, then you maybe need to run we did the import just to see why it has rejecting. It might be a duplicate reference, or again, it might be the account hasn't been created, or the account has closed. So that's how you figure out what's wrong with it. And again, if it's something you can fix in Sun, go and fix it in Sun, and then just rerun the process to import it. But don't forget to take the source file out, or it's going to try and import it again. That's the whole trick with ledger import. There's 2 forms of the file, whether it's Q&A data send, standard, a manual import, or an automated import. It's where you'll have a source file and a file in ledger import if it's failed. If everything goes right, no need to do anything. If it has failed, if you can fix it in Sun, i.e. open a code or turn off the unique reference, then you can just rerun ledger import or post it through. But don't forget to delete the source file. If it has to be fixed in the source file, delete the ledger import because we know that one's wrong and we can't rerun it and get it to work. Fix the source file, and that might mean downloading it from FM and changing it and re-uploading it again, and then re-import it, or just wait for the next automation on how things work. So that's why I do recommend, it's a good thing to just go into ledger import every couple of times a day, or just someone, it can be someone's job, just to go in and just check that everything has been imported okay. I had a client quite a while ago, a year ago, who had a stack, I think it was about 25 invoices. They fixed but didn't clear them. And that was about a month's worth. I think there were 10,000 lines in ledger import, which took quite a bit to clear out. And it does get confusing. If you start getting multiple copies, that's when it gets confusing. So rule of thumb, just go in. It's a, like I say, it's a quick job just to go into ledger import and just check, see what's there. If there's nothing there, you get a no data returned, everything's fine. But if there are some rejects there, especially if they are more than a day old, then you might need to check who has posted those, or if it's an invoice, whether the invoice has actually come through. Just keep on top of ledger import, just a little bit of housekeeping there, and that's it. I'll sign off for now, and I'll leave you with it. Cheers.